Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pep Talk Pod, a podcast of five very opinionated sisters talking about sports and all things entertainment as well. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell on all the things at the Pep Talk Pod on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the YouTube page. I'll go ahead and let my sisters introduce ourselves because we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Hello, I am Tracy. I'm daughter number 1.
I'm Crystal, daughter number 2.
Hello, I am fabulous daughter number 3, Melissa.
And it's your girl, Sean. I'm daughter number 5.
Baby, when I tell you NBA, it was the battle of the light brights on Sunday. Woo! And the Celtics make the Warriors have it.
So the Celtics blew the Warriors out the water.
Yes, 52 points. The score was 188. You hear me? This is the third time that the Boston Celtics has done that this year. So do you all think that the Warriors are
washed up
for the season? Washed up?
No, I don't think they washed up. I think they just they are having some bad games, I think. And I think they're kind of like out of sync. They're going to have to regroup. Draymond knocked them off, a little bit with all the stuff he had going on.
With all the people he knocked off. He knocked their energy off. He was knocking everybody else off.
He was tagging their heads.
Listen, they literally came out there and played like, and I'm not making fun of like domestic violence or anything, but they came out there like they had been battered and wounded. I was like, so let's go back as if I never even saw the game. Did Steph and Clay play? Did Draymond play?
Did.
They did.
They really did.
That was my question too. When I said, "Oh, they got the third string in," and then I kept looking.
Ain't no third string.
No,
not
NBA. Mercy.
The G League.
Yeah, ain't no third string.
They didn't play. No.
I just feel like once they got down by about 20, they just kind of let up. It was just whatever it is now. But I don't really think that they played full out and got beat by 50. I just don't want to believe that.
I don't think Golden State's making it to the playoffs.
Oh, I don't think
that's
they make
a big
it.
statement.
I really don't. I feel like, and I said this a few weeks ago when we were talking about, because I think I can't remember who it was that they lost to pretty bad. I feel like it was Denver, maybe the last episode, I think it was. They lost really bad to Denver. And I said, I feel like teams have figured out how to play them. Like they have figured out, and I think, Sean, you were like, because Steph ain't going to play no defense, obviously. Like none of that has changed.
Period.
So I really just feel like teams have figured out the formula to beat Golden State. And they're a small team at that. And I don't think they have the bodies to compete against a very physical, rough and tumble team like you're seeing from Boston. I feel like Boston is playing really hard. I don't know. Maybe they got something to prove because they've been really close last few seasons and they haven't been able to close it out. And I don't think Golden State has that golden touch anymore. I don't think they got it.
No, I think the light brights is now to the Boston Celtics. But Crystal, you wanted to say something?
Feels so coloristic.
Colorism is not a two-way street, so no, she's not. But keep it moving.
I know. I said it feels coloristic. I made the word up. I didn't say colorism.
Okay then. Anywho,
I agree with Melissa though. I believe
which is
I don't think that they are like lost. They totally lost, but they're gonna have some kind of way. They're gonna have to regroup because right now they're playing so out of sync.
No, it won't be this season.
I think I can't think of who the young fella is that's with the Warriors. But I do think they need to regroup, go back to the drawing board. Because when Clay didn't start, they kind of started the game much better. I understand that, Draymond, he probably, has a little drama going on or whatnot. But when Clay didn't start, they kind of did better. But go ahead, Crystal.
So do y'all want to say that when they picked up Chris Paul, that was a bad move for them?
No,
Because it seemed like
I don't think so. Because he really didn't even he played when the basketball season, when preseason kind of started, and then he hadn't played. But I don't think he's a bad move for the Warriors. I don't think so. Oh,
well, the reason I say it probably is money wise.
Mm.
And when
Yes,
they
30
moving money
million.
around on them teams, exactly. So now your salary cap, and I think I've been saying this ever since the NFL. Everything is all about the money. It's about the business with the teams.
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
I agree that you got to be careful with putting too many stars on the roster because it's going to get you to that salary cap. And I mean, sooner than one of them go out, you don't have anybody to be able to come in and fill that gap because you don't have no money to pay anybody. You know, and I think filling up a roster with a load of stars is a very silly business move for professional sports. I think people think because you got all the dogs will come together and win, but everybody's talent does not gel that well together. I'm not saying that about Chris Paul, but I'm just saying in general, I think it's not a wise move to put a $30 million Chris Paul on that roster. I don't think that was necessary. I just don't think it was necessary.
No, because they could have used that and got one of the young guys.
who?
So
Who
I mean,
could they've gotten?
they
Some
could have
young
got
fresh
a young
legs.
guy like Dallas got a young team this year. Cleveland got a young team this year as well.
But they had Cleveland had a young team last year though.
Who was that again?
But Cleveland had a young team last year,
Exactly.
and they did real good. So I mean, okay, they probably could have gotten somebody new, but I'm just saying it all depends on where they fell out, in the draft. Also,
I mean,
that's how I'm gonna look at it.
Not only about
they need somebody to play defense.
Period.
That part
Who's gonna play defense other than Draymond?
So
nobody plays defense
because they don't have no bigs.
Yeah.
Well,
Draymond.
No
the one thing about Luna, they ain't even paying Luna nothing. Looney ain't even get what the
Luka?
Looney? No, you talking about Looney? Looney, you talking about Kevin Looney?
Oh, Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, his salary he's a big guy. You got Draymond as a big guy they have. But I think if, and like Tracy said, if they would have picked up somebody for the defense, somebody to be able to play the defense right along with those two. And I won't forget about Wiggins. Wiggins to me is a good clutch player.
Mm-hmm.
When they got rid of the young fella that Draymond got into it last year, what was his name?
Jordan Poole.
When they got rid of Jordan Poole, to me, that was and brought in Chris Paul. To me, that was a mistake because you want your young players to actually continue to build your team up. Jordan Poole was young.
Mm-hmm.
But who on the Warriors team is over 7 feet tall?
Looney or whatever.
Looney he's 6'9".
No, he's 6'9". Nobody.
Looney's 6. Nobody. So that's what I'm saying. If they was gonna get somebody and they needed some bigs, because they ain't never had no bigs. All they had was people that could shoot. All they had was guards. That's it. They don't have no bigs. Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna mention that. I noticed y'all were talking about who else they could bring in and dominate on basket. That's never been their model. Their model is shooting guards. That's all they have. A lot of teams, even if you watch college basketball right now, a lot of teams really don't go to the big position. They're recruiting heavily for shooters. People think that they could build their game around shooters. If you can't get out there and figure out how to stop these 4 shooters that I got out here, and there's one guy to crash the board, then we're gonna win ball games. That's a really trendy formula right now for teams, especially in college basketball. You're thinking about, oh gosh, we need somebody to play defense, but we're watching these kids out here in the middle of Kentucky that's shooting the lights out for some of these, Floridas, they getting dogged out because all these guys do is sit behind the arc and shoot the ball. They ain't going to the hole. They ain't doing nothing. All they doing is running that swing. There you go. We just talked about it a couple weeks ago. All they doing is running that shift, that swing, and that isolation. Every now and then they get serious to the basket. But all they doing is swinging that ball and bringing somebody out there beyond art. That is how they're winning ball games. So nobody's really relying on the bigs anymore like that. I mean, it's just and they never really were that style of team. They weren't. So I didn't expect them to bring in no 7-11, body under the basket. I don't even think they care about height.
Yeah.
Why y'all
No, I don't think so. What you was fixing to say, Shayna?
No, go ahead. You can move on. I'm good.
Okay, then. Cool. So next on this NBA soiree, let's talk about LeBron James scoring 40,000 points.
Yeah.
Even though they lost against the Denver Nuggets, the other day on Saturday. I don't even know if anybody heard that, Denver Nuggets lost because, it was like LeBron took over all that shine, 40,000 points. So,
Yeah.
do y'all think LeBron James is the GOAT?
Period. Don't play with him.
Okay,
Don't play with him.
then.
LeBron they hate on him. Every year he gets so much hate, but nobody dominates season in and season out for 20 years like LeBron James. If you say somebody have, you lying. You're just lying. I'm gonna call you a liar tonight. It's not happening. Who else? Who else is going?
She was the L word.
LeBron is not.
I know.
Oh,
LeBron ain't the what?
What's she say?
LeBron is not the GOAT.
Who is then, Crystal?
It will
Let us know.
always be the one and only Michael Jordan.
Boo.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Okay. So let's say for this era, this day and age, is LeBron the GOAT?
If Kobe wasn't deceased, it would be Kobe.
Okay. What say you, Tracy?
I don't like neither one of them.
Wow.
I would take Jordan, but I'm from Jordan era. So
Yeah.
you said from this era,
Yes.
who will he be the GOAT? And again, I'll have to go with Crystal. I would pick Kobe over LeBron. I just would, only because Kobe just stuck with his one team. LeBron has traveled around the world, right? So, but he has done great things. Now, don't get me wrong. He has done good everywhere he went. Every team he went to, most of them he got. Did he get a trophy from every team he been on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
yes.
in Miami.
So you can't. I mean, you
In the
can't.
Lakers.
You can't deny him. I can see where some people would say, yes, this is the GOAT. Yeah, he would be the GOAT for this era. But for my era, it would be Michael Jordan.
Gotcha.
For my vote, it would be Kobe Bryant.
Gotcha.
It would just be Kobe. I would pick Kobe over LeBron.
Okay, Shayna. What you
I would say for me, I think that Sean brought up a good point about the length of time that he has been basically at the top of his game, which is 20 years. Now, I know a lot of people like to count rings and all that kind of stuff, which that's great, but you got to also remember Steph Curry and the Warriors got a lot of rings too. Would they be considered the GOATs? Not really. For me, I think if you're just judging someone based solely on what they do, as I know, and this is a team sport, I get it. But if you're talking about the GOATs and what they do physically, how they can physically impose themselves on the game, I would have to say this generation is got to be LeBron. That's just my personal opinion. I think look at what he's still able to accomplish. He's probably in better shape now than he was at 29. And that's really a testament to the advances in sports medicine and things like that. But I just think the sustainability over 20 years, you got to give some kind of props to that. And for me, that's a huge thing. But
For sure. And I want to say something because I know we're talking about eras, but we're talking about greatest of all times. And Tracy brought up something about him moving from, teams. I think if we're talking about a GOAT that just retired at the close of college football, Nick Saban, I think Nick Saban is a GOAT because he was able to take his talents to multiple different organizations and pull out wins. I think that that's a testament to LeBron's talent. People were so down on him about, they loading the roster because he went here, he goes here, and they always feel like he's always stacked with talent around him. But to deny the fact that man has dominated every organization that he has played in for 2 whole decades, I think that that's incredible. What LeBron does on the court and off the court, you cannot say he's not the greatest of all time. The likability, the connection to the fans, the crowds that he draws out. I know everybody like Michael Jordan. I understand for y'all's era that he was the king, but Michael Jordan did not have the sustainability and the fandom that LeBron has in this era with these kids on every single roster that he's ever played on. It's just not true.
So I have a question. So since we're talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron in those different eras, so we know that the game has changed tremendously, right?
Yeah.
Now, to me, I feel like the NBA game now is much softer. Do you think that LeBron could have done the same thing if it was reversed? Could LeBron have played in Michael Jordan, and could Michael Jordan have played in this era of LeBron? Y'all really think
Absolutely.
so?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that they both have that toughness about them. LeBron, to me, wait a minute. Now, when I say toughness, I mean the physical stature. Would he probably still be flopping and doing that stuff that he does now then? Absolutely not. But I'm saying his actual physical presence, he could last in that league because he's durable, he's tough. Like his body, as you can see, he's been playing this for 20 years. Now, would a Steph Curry or somebody like that dominating that era? Absolutely not, because you had to guard people back then. And LeBron physically is able to impose himself. I think he would have been able to play in that era easily. He wouldn't have had all the theatrics now, but he definitely would have been physically able to stand up in that era. Absolutely.
What you say, Trace?
I'm sorry. Go
ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say something. I think too, we dog LeBron a lot for the flopping, but you have to remember the guys are adapting to the current physicality of the game, right? And so now, because they are not allowing you to go down there and knock each other heads off, you can't get these hard fouls under the basket on these big guys because they want them to be able to have sustainability. I think that LeBron has figured out how to sell that game to win ball games. I think when we're talking about the Jordan era, Jordan knew he had to be a dog to go under the basket because there was some dogs under there that was ready to knock him out. I think for LeBron, he understands how to sell fouls and how to sell the game to close out and win. And he gets so much slack because they feel like, every time he gets the ball, he flopping. No, what's happening is he's learned the game and his defenders are not learning the game enough and they're buying into it every single time. Every time he gets the ball, he draws these fouls. They're mad at people because he's flopping. But he can't sell the foul if you don't step your body into him. I mean, it's simple as 1, 2, 3. He just learned the formula and the strategy, and now everybody mad because he's learning how to use it. That ain't his problem.
Go ahead, Tracy. Go ahead.
No, ma'am. LeBron is soft. He is soft. LeBron could not play with James Worthy. He could not play with Isaiah Thomas. He couldn't play with those guys. He is going to cry every time. What my boy name that played with with Dennis Rodman?
He couldn't hang with Dennis.
No, ma'am. Because first of all, LeBron want all the calls. Second of all, LeBron don't.
They wanted calls too.
He crying now. Oh, no. So I couldn't see. LeBron couldn't play with them guys. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I think he could.
No,
I think
even now, if
he's
he's
too much of a crybaby.
Before now, back then, he was barely hanging with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce with Boston. That was a struggle.
The pot. Wait a minute.
That was a struggle for him, for LeBron in that era. So,
y'all tripping.
To me, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. If you look at the way the NBA is played now compared to what NBA was back up in Look at
Look at Tracy's face.
Go ahead,
If you look
Cruz.
at how NBA played now compared to where it was, the rule of the game has changed tremendously. That a lot of the force plays and the force of defense that they played back up in the 80s and the 90s, LeBron won't be able to hang with that right about now. If it was
No.
continuing where
All
it is.
that crime.
It's not even. First of all,
I ain't never seen talking about he a leader. He begging for a foul.
it's not.
The acting that go along with it. Oh, no.
Here's the thing: you are taking modern attitudes about the game and trying to put them in that era. I am specifically talking about LeBron's physical body type and his level of skill. LeBron is basically a modern day Magic Johnson. He most definitely. Now again, he wouldn't have been able to be
modern day
doing
Magic Johnson when you don't expand yourself.
because
LeBron will sit back and allow the rest of his team to rebound, the rest of his team to dominate on the post than him. He want to sit back and wait for that pass. So
I'm not saying how he plays the game. I am talking about just.
But you got to play the game to be able to dominate the game.
And I feel like he would have adapted to those years based on what the rules were in the game.
I don't think so.
And we're talking about him letting his teammates crash the board. Why he need to do that in year 20?
Girl, let me tell you, I knew LeBron wasn't about nothing when he went to Los Angeles and he brought the whole senior citizen squad with him during the COVID. I knew he wasn't about it. He brought the whole senior citizen squad with him when he got to Los Angeles. And I was like, why did you bring, if you so dominating and so good, why you got to bring the whole senior citizen squad?
She talking about AD.
He brought Russell Westbrook with him. He brought in Dwight Howard.
Russell Westbrook is young. He ain't no senior citizen.
Exactly.
He was a senior because he had been at OKC for a while, Tracy. Before when he got there,
girl,
he was with OKC for I know about 5-6 years before he got to Los Angeles.
You done lost me. I was on your team. Now you done brought me to myself. Russell
Well, he brought them over to Los Angeles with him. He brought all them over to Los Angeles.
He was young and athletic.
He had Davis with him. He had Dwight Howard with him. He had Dwight Howard, the freak from the streets. That man, that fool right there. Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly for all the people that's listening. I'm putting on mute.
Mute her. Mute her mic. She's done for the night. Did you just say the Oh my God.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Haley said,
we gotta
move on.
We gonna move
right along.
I cannot.
We've lost every sponsor that we could have possibly get.
Oh my God, no.
Jesus.
What is going on?
I can't. Maybe one day we Lord have mercy. This is why we can't have Pep on the show. This is why we can't have Pep on the show for this exact reason. We
might as well have had him this time, baby.
All right, moving right along, guys. We're going to talk about the NFL right now, and we're going to talk about the NFL combined with Xavier Worthy running the fastest 40 at 4.21 speed. Man, like he allegedly supposed to be the fastest.
We know how you feel. Allegedly.
Because I say that because I read that Bo Jackson back in 86 ran a 4.13. Mm-hmm. And even though it wasn't like noted that he actually did it, some say that he did do it at the
the thing.
Compound.
The combine.
The thing.
I don't want to mispronounce it.
She is like she's like hanging up on her words because she do not want to say compound.
Mispronounce it.
at the no, let's go. So
Okay,
question
yeah,
here. You and your
yeah,
feelings, but the Bo Jackson thing was not an official time
right.
for the NFL combine. So obviously that's why it's not in the record books. But this is
Yeah.
an incredible speed to have. I mean, that's
That
pretty
is
fast.
amazing because they saying that he's faster than Usain Bolt in the 40.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Usain Bolt
That
ran
is fast.
4.22 and he ran a 4.21. So it's a
Wow.
great accomplishment. Yeah,
Did
That's
that's
he do
pretty
really fast.
impressive.
track? Did he do track in college?
So he didn't do track and field in college, but he did run. He did do it in high school.
In high
I don't
school.
know
Yeah.
why he didn't do it
Wow.
in college. But he was really fast in high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he
Well,
won
he's
state and
fast
everything.
now.
Very
Yeah,
fast.
You
receiver.
know, that bring up
What'd you say,
Yeah.
a
Chris?
clip that I seen on TikTok the other day, yesterday. I seen on TikTok where a coach was saying that for all his wide receivers and cornerback and safeties, he making them go run track. He said because back in his days, most wide receivers ran
We're
track,
track stars. Yeah.
were
Oh
track
yeah.
stars to actually stay fit during the off season.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But
That's
I
yeah,
Which
told you
good.
before, track and
it
field
was
is where you need to be year round.
conditioning
Yeah.
well
for sure.
Conditioning.
It's gonna get you.
here in Gwinnett County, I know some high schools actually make the boys, if they don't run track, they have to be on the swim team. So
Mhm.
they actually make them be on the
Oh.
swim team. Yes,
It's that
it's
agility.
quite a
That's a
bit of high
good.
school
That's good.
guys
Mhm.
here in Gwinnett County actually does the swim team.
I think in this day and age, I think you're going to see a lot less of those multi-sport athletes,
Mm.
just because of like NIL money and things of that nature, and people trying to really secure their
The
futures,
bag.
less injury, that kind of stuff. So I think, but it was like you said, very common for athletes to play multiple sports. I mean, heck, Bo Jackson played multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
You
Deion
just
Sanders.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deion Sanders, Michael
Yeah.
Jordan. You just don't see that these days at the collegiate level
No.
of people playing multiple sports like that. So, I mean, I think
No.
it's pretty obvious why he didn't run track, Xavier Worthy, in college because of that. Because he needs to stay healthy for football,
Yeah.
get that
For
money.
sure.
But you remember when Kyle Murray was getting ready to be drafted, he had to pick between being a quarterback and
Yep.
going to play baseball for Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He
he
should have
did.
chose baseball. Go ahead.
Wow. In other news, while we're talking about setting records and making history, we got to give it up for Talladega College. They are the first HBCU to win a NCAA team competition. So kudos to you guys, Talladega College. Way to represent women's gymnastics from the HBCU arena. I'm so proud, but I just wanted to talk about the actual performance. It was so amazing. I felt like it was her operating in her personality, and it was very on par for like HBCU culture, but in a very like gymnast way. What did y'all think about the performance?
Well, who exactly are you talking about?
Skylar, is her name Skylar? Kyla?
Her name. Ooh,
Yes,
yes.
Yeah.
she was number one
Yeah.
I was
for the
confused on who you were talking
individuals.
about. Yes.
She
Yeah,
was
the
number one
individuals.
for the individuals. Yes,
Yeah.
I really enjoy looking at the team as a whole. But Skylar she was dominating the floor. She really did. And I must give it up to the rest of the HBCUs in the
Yeah.
gymnastics. Don't forget about Fix, who made history being the first HBCU
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
with a gymnastics team. And then Talladega, but I'm missing one. It's another team it's three of them now that have gymnastics at the school. I'm
I
I'm
missing
missing
don't know,
one.
but I know Fisk is very dominant. They have for consecutive years they've had a pretty good gym team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. And her name was Kirsten, not Kyla, Skylar. Kirsten Johnson. She placed
Um,
first overall.
oh,
All around. Yeah. But I would just say I just remember as a young girl watching gymnastics in the Olympics because that was really the only time that it was like on, all the time. And I remember back then for us, it was literally only Dominique Dawes back then, right? Dominique Dawes was the
yeah.
lone black girl that was always on the team. And now to see gymnastics be dominated by Black women at both the Olympic level and the collegiate level. Like, it is a sight to behold, and I'm just so excited about it because gymnastics was always my favorite. Like, I was always waiting for gymnastics to come on at the Olympics. So just to see this is so cool.
Yeah, because we literally sat around and waited for track. And I wanted to say, you know, Dominique Dawes obviously was every brown girl's little dream when we thought about the Olympics, because that just felt so like unattainable, you know, for us in that era. And like to see her actually on TV and being, it was just like, wow, what a dream. But I think we had such a big gap until Gabby Douglas came on the scene and really wreaked havoc on the Olympics. And then from there, they just been spitting out talent year after year. You know, to follow up with her was Simone Biles. And then we had our girl, what's her name? Oh my gosh, her personality is so big. Jordan. That came after Jordan Childs. Really love Jordan. I got to see them in the semifinals in St. Louis prior to this previous Olympics, and it was an amazing event to just be able to say, wow, I've actually sat at home and watched something on TV as a little girl, and then I was able to be in the atmosphere. It was very surreal. So kudos to them, and it just shows that we are not a monolith. We can do anything, right? There's a whole spectrum of sports that we are involved in. It just kind of goes unnoticed, you know, but that we seek interest in and we can get in and dominate.
Yeah, it's so true, because I mean, even looking at not even just the HBCUs, but looking at all the dominant gymnastics programs around the country, look who their top gymnasts are on all the teams. Yeah. Look at Florida, look at Alabama, look at UCLA, look at all those schools, and it's all the brown girls. They winning it. They taking it in gymnastics right now. So I mean, I'm happy about that. I love to see it. Love to see it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And the third school that I found out is Wilberforce. Wilberforce is the third HBCU that has gymnastics.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Awesome.
Well, go Talladega College. Go Alabama.
All right. Moment off sports is the Ressa Miss. The lady who had the 52 clips on TikTok talking about what is it? Who
the block did I marry?
It was just one block. Just one block.
One block.
Yeah.
The block did I marry?
Did I marry?
It was blah. You bleeping out regular words. What's going on?
Who the block did I marry?
Well, if she didn't know from the BMW and the two vehicles, and then come down to the houses that he so-called had for her, and the family that he got on the West Coast that up and moved to at the Metro Atlanta area, I think something was actually wrong with her.
Yeah, it's like we are literally overlooking a red flag. The first red flags was him in his studio apartment and him having to come and live with you. That's where it started. Okay, let's start there. Like, what's going on?
Ooh,
what is really happening here?
I didn't listen to the 52 segments like Shayna. I didn't listen to them, and so my heart goes out to that woman and so many other women, because so many times as women we get vulnerable and we get lonely. So what is the to me it seems like she got so lonely till she was willing to accept
whatever
all of this. She didn't even see the red flags. She didn't even see them until like mid segment, like 25th segment. Now the red flag, like ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the first 10, 12? And so many women do it. So many women do it, whether it's a male or female these days. I'm just saying, luckily she came out, no STDs, no babies, no real debt. Like she came out on top. So many women have to go into bankrupt. They have 3 kids or more. They significant other than gave them something that they can't cure. Now they
Yeah.
are advocate on this, and that,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I know, and then like Charlamagne, the Breakfast Club, they came out with a fake apology. Like, bruh, you could have kept that
Yeah, he could have
apology.
kept that apology. He really
You
could
know
have
what
kept
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, it was out. She's already in a mess, and she was willing to share her story. And I say that because in here in Mobile, it was a story going out with this young lady, and it went viral. She didn't give real names, but she told her story, and it
Mhm.
was one of the saddest stories you ever want to read. And it's right here in
Yeah.
our hometown. So it's like I say, so many of us, like we just learn to love ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
First.
Self-preservation is first, right?
First.
So
Yes.
we
Yeah.
learn to love ourselves first. And
Mhm.
like we
Re-
used to say, the Ressa Tessa Tissa mess is a mess, but it is a sad
It's the
one. I mean,
reality.
it's a
Yes, yes.
reality,
it.
and
It is
she
definitely a
Yeah.
won.
reality.
Yeah, she actually won. Like, she
Yeah.
was able to talk. And then look at this. She find the ex-wife, and her and the ex-wife start having this conversation where he done told this story apparently multiple times. Like,
Mhm.
what dog gonna get this bone? Because I'm gonna keep on tossing it out to somebody catch it, right? All right, so
Yeah.
check it. But they did not fight and argue. So many times,
Mhm.
we as
Oh,
women
wow.
we reach out to the other woman, and
Yeah. Turn
everybody
into a
guards
mess.
go up. It
Yeah.
turns
Say
to
it
a mess.
again. Say it
Yeah.
again.
That's it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, you made such a good point, Tracy, that like her even, and this is why the whole Breakfast Club and that gaggle of buffoons ticked me off so much because, and I'm standing on that.
Okay,
What
then.
I'm what I'm saying is because her talking about that and exposing that is literally a teaching moment for other women. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we've
Right.
all been
Right.
in sort of situations where we get stupid over a significant other. We ignore
Woo.
things, we let things slide, things like that. And so her sharing that story, like you said, then another woman from Mobile share her story. Now
Yeah.
at least women can be on the lookout for Legion and his no good behind, and nobody else will be. You know what I'm saying? No one else will
Even if
fall victim.
that's his real name, who knows? Because
Hello.
he has so many red flags and so many lies in so many
Yeah.
situations. And
Don't
this
know.
is the scary part, when he got sick on her. He got sick and he went from 300 pounds to 220. Man, I got sick because I'm like, girl, go to the hospital, baby. See what you got.
The
Yeah.
Make sure you
horse.
straight. Because
Yeah.
man, that is a lot. She said he stayed sick so long and he lost so much weight. I'm just saying,
So
Well,
you
girl,
read,
yeah.
you got some more clips than I did because I got that.
TikTok,
What I said
TikTok, baby,
from the,
TikTok. I
but
did.
I got that from the first five that I was stating earlier. So you know more than you got farther on down in the TikToks.
She
You
got the
had to read
summary.
the clip. Yeah, you
She
got to
read
read
the
the
clip
Cliff Notes
notes.
version. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Cliff
Oh,
You
Notes
okay.
can't.
only, because
Yeah.
can't read all
Mm-mm.
that.
Baby,
It was
this
too
sounds
much.
like a pocket FM story, but go ahead.
I want to say something. I really appreciate Tracy for pointing that out, because I do think that sometimes we get in relationships based off of vulnerability and just being, I mean, you're really just trying to hope that what you're seeing is not true, right? For a very long
That's
time,
right.
people go through relationships and you know what you see, right? You know, your eyes are telling you, you hear it, you see it, you feel it, right? But for some reason, you're just trying to make it not be the reality.
You right.
We as women, we are like no nurturers, and sometimes we get in our head that even if it is bad, we can fix it. Like
Yeah.
Oh
I can
yeah,
figure out
Yeah.
how to help him not be like that, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like you're not gonna be coming in here being a surgeon with somebody's brain.
Come on back,
Drink
Shida.
my
Come on
tea
back,
on that.
Shida.
I'ma drink my tea
Listen,
on that.
you're not like a brain surgeon to where you can fix this human being and make them be, a better person. It's just in them, right? And so I think that when we overlook these red flags and then women get into these relationships 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, and it's like, dang, I'm here now, so what do I do? It looks so much harder to leave out of it than to stay in it and fix it. But there's nothing for
Mm,
you to fix, because everything that you have is all based on a lie. It's all based on
mm.
Yeah.
lies. And I
Yeah.
think when you have already created this life in your brain with this person that you have grown attached to, whether it's because you guys have been intimate, I mean, Jesus, intimacy is literally the one that rocks us all, right? Once you done got intimate with a person, at this point, they almost control your existence unless you're strong enough to really fight up out of that, right? And so it's
Oh,
like,
thank you,
dang,
Jesus, for
I
strength.
got to leave all of this. Like, I got to leave all this. At least I can have somebody I lay next to and get warm. Did you say double X? At least I got a warm body to lay next to. I mean, or opposed to me being at home. We're living in this economy, like she said, you paying the bills by yourself. I mean, all of those variables go into play when you're thinking about leaving a relationship that you know ain't no good for you. And so I just think in a moment where she's really just sharing her story and being vulnerable, this is not the moment to be talking about she had her back was too big anyway and he wouldn't take her serious because his back was big too and he was
Hello.
not cute. So like, what are we doing
Not
He
here?
the
wasn't
big
no small man,
Hello.
huh?
No, he was
He wasn't
small.
small at
No,
all. Go
I
ahead,
was
Melissa.
saying.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy though, even as little girls, because clearly this is probably transpired even with all women, not just black, white, whatever, all women.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to have a fairy tale story. Everybody
Mm.
wants the house with the white picket fence and the girl and the boy child and the dog. Some of us, okay. But I'm just saying, we kind of that's something that you're taught though, and you
Mhm.
look
Yeah.
at
Yes.
TV and this is how you want it to be, and I thank her for having the courage to even
Yes.
Mhm.
talk about it because that's the first thing, she was
Mhm.
like, let me do some self-evaluation. Wait a minute, something's not right, something is wrong. Let me sit back and look at this picture. Okay, Buster, you got to go. So once Buster is gone, now I got to do some more you know,
Mhm.
self-encouragement on myself to say, man, I can't let this happen to the next person because this could have been her daughter. It could have been
Mm.
something that go on for generations and generations, but she
Break the
stopped,
curse.
which is great. So I applaud her. Even hey, this story need to
Mhm.
be on Lifetime or somebody need to pick it up. Tyler Perry,
Sell
Oprah, y'all
it.
out there, y'all hit. Y'all need to go on and pick it up and get these girls a coins. Because guess what? She had the courage to go ahead on and talk about it. And hey,
Well, I will say there's already a series out there called "Who the Blank Did I Marry," and it's literally no, it's a true crime series of women on there and some men telling their stories about how they ended up marrying people who were
Oh yeah, on
criminals. Like
Netflix and stuff.
it's
Yeah,
not,
I've
yeah,
seen it.
it's not on
What?
Netflix. It's on Oxygen. You can catch it. It's called "Who the F Did I
Oh,
Marry." It's been on for years. So she got that title from somewhere else. But I'm saying, like, this is a
oh,
thing. It's the
Oh
thing.
that's
yeah.
Like,
It's a
glorious.
thing.
it's the thing.
It's
Everyone goes
it's
okay.
through
it's
it.
serious. It is
It
serious
is.
out here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
it
It
is
is
talking
definitely
definitely.
about.
serious talk because I don't know if
Yeah.
you all seen this week here in Atlanta. They had a lady. She actually killed her boyfriend. She walked in on him
Mhm.
cheating. In Mobile, I read also this weekend where a girl shot her boyfriend for actually doing something to her. So
Yeah.
to me, this is a stepping stone of not being violent about it, but being vocal about it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
letting the
Yeah.
violence be somewhere else, but being vocal and letting them know and not to me, because once you be violent, that means you held in a lot of that hurt, that anger, you held in a lot of that damage that has been done to you. So when she
Mhm.
being vocal, she releasing
Use
herself
her
to
voice.
everyone. Yes, I'm
It's
sorry. Go
healing
ahead, Sherry.
her. Yeah,
Yes.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
no, I agree
Yeah.
with you. I think that too, her talking about it is actually healing her. She's doing the work to really figure out how to like get her life back together and move on. And I like that you pointed that out because there was an incident with a family in South Carolina. The guy brought the young girl to the house. The wife got off of work. The wife came in the house and they held the girl hostage and murdered her. Well, now that lady
Mm.
is facing those manslaughter charges now because the girl had reached out to her mom via cell phone telling her mom that they wouldn't let her go. And
Mhm.
so I think too, like you said,
Wow.
people snap, right? And it only takes a moment, right? Because you're acting off of your emotions. And when women and men are in relationships and their trust has been violated, you get into this place of what else do I have left, right? people snap when
Mhm.
they feel violated, when they feel like there's nothing else for them to do about it. And so I think that when we're doing this type of stuff, it takes a piece out of you, right? Because you could just see in her commentation, in her stories, like every new detail she gave us, it felt like it just took something else, like some more of that out of her, you know. And that takes a lot of years to rebuild and a lot of work. I mean, that you got to do the self work to figure out how did you even get yourself in this, and how do you get back to some level of normalcy where you don't ever let this happen
Yes.
again. You know,
Mhm.
and I
Well,
think if you go ahead, I'm sorry.
no. I was saying, I think Melissa brought up a good point about, I think, especially for women, I can only speak for as a woman, how we've been socialized to want certain things and look at our lives only being a success if we obtain those things, i.e., whether it's marriage or having children or things like that. Like, society has conditioned us to think that that is the only way you can really be seen valuable as a woman, right? And so you place a lot of your self-esteem onto those things.
On
And
that,
when you don't have it, which is where she was at a certain age, she's of a certain religious persuasion and stuff. And so when you reach that age and you don't have it, it's like your self-esteem is in the dumps. And what are you as a person? And you really have to figure out who you are as a person without all those things, without the things that society tells you that you have to be. And I think
That's
for
right.
women, we really have to work on, before you get in any relationship, and this goes for men and women, your self-esteem has got to be on point, because you see people snapping and doing stuff like that because, like you said, their whole life is in that relationship. And that is the only measure of success for their life. And I think that's how she got caught up in it, because, you know, her church told her, you know what, if you're intimate with a guy, you need to be married, or whatever it is. You need to be married before you do this, before you do that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just saying that if you place that much value in something like that and you don't obtain it, then what?
Correct. Because it's different levels of intimacy. You know what I'm saying? When you're dating someone, you just need to date to collect data. You need to see what you got going on. Hey, what you like, what you don't like. Ooh, what did he do? How did he do it? Type of deal. And you know, because you'll find yourself, you can be in love. I can't put the OVE at the end of it. You can be in love, you know, before anything.
Before you know it.
Before you know it, you be
You
like,
be
I
50
did
pounds heavier. You 50 pounds heavier, you bald headed, and you broke. Who got time for that? You don't even know yourself no more. No.
You be looking in the mirror
leave it.
saying, Harper,
Put
who
it
this
on
woman?
the floor.
No.
Put it on the floor.
I tell you, if we became a relationship podcast, Lord have mercy, we can't be like all the I mean, but sisters, this was definitely the conversation to be had. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of our viewers. Again, make sure that you are like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, commenting. We love to read y'all's comments. We definitely do on all of the things. So with that being said, we're gonna put them to sleep, and we'll see y'all next time.